This episode is all about breaking cycles that have been hindering you year after year and making sure you are ready for 2025. Welcome back to Be a Better Baddie. My name is Quenisha, and I am your host, coach, teacher, and fellow baddie. Today, we're talking about, of course, one of my favorite topics, one of the primary topics of my podcast and my channel, which is goal setting, reflecting, thinking about how you want to evolve, so on and so on. So, in particular, today's episode is about preparing for 2025. It is December 7th when you're listening to this. And it's the beginning of December. We're getting out of Thanksgiving, kind of getting back into a routine before we get out of our routine again for the Christmas and the New Year holiday. In between that time, I am going to take the time to prepare for 2025. And I just won't be allotted that time to necessarily sit down during Christmas and Christmas Eve. I'll be with my family, etc. So I want to walk you through my process. And in next week's vlog, I'm going to do the things with you exactly. And of course, I'll do some things here with you as well. But today is really about telling you everything. I'll also have a downloadable checklist for you, which you can find in the description right now to download if you don't want to write down everything that I'm saying and take notes. But we are going to jump into it because right now is the perfect time of the year for you to start thinking about next year, reflecting on this past year, thinking about what you want to do. So in this episode, we're going to talk about how to reflect on 2024 in a meaningful way, how to set intentions and goals that are aligned with your vision of who you want to be, how to set those goals, and then we'll also have some tools included to help you facilitate that process. So I am ready to get into today's episode. Let's get started. The first thing that we are going to do to prepare for 2025 is reflect on our 2024. I want you to think about your life in terms of categories, and you've probably seen these categories on a life wheel before, but the categories that we're going to think about are finances, career, relationships, personal growth, health and wellness, and fun. If you have any other categories that are in your life and you're like, she didn't mention those, add it to the list, right? You're going to write all of those down, and I want you to think about, and you can also do this in a Google document. You're going to think about generally what happened. I want you to start off with the objective. What happened in each of those categories? So your finances. Did you save money? Did you spend a lot of money? Be very objective about the things that happened. Career. Did you get a new job? Did you get a promotion? Did you lose your job? Personal growth. Did you start this project that you said you always wanted to start? So be very, very objective. Just state the things that happened. We're not assigning value to them. And this is an important part of the reflection process because we don't want to lose out on anything that happened throughout the year. You don't want to assign value to these things already. Now we are going to get into the more subjective things. After you write down what happened in each of those categories, the next thing you're going to do is think what went well and what failed. Now you can start to evaluate and judge yourself. This is where you're going to start getting ideas for your next set of goals. So what went well, you can write those things down. What did you fail at? Because let's be real, we all failed at something. It's life. So write those things down and take some time to really reflect on these. And I do want to step back for a moment. This shouldn't be done in one day. If you want to do it the right way, it will require you to actually sit down and process it. And if you do it the right way, your brain will be tired and you'll be like, I did one thing, take a break, do the next part. So do not rush this process. That's the reason I am just telling you to do this on December 7th so that you have the entire month of December to really think about how you want to start this year off. And again, in this next video, I will be doing a little reflection of my own so we can do it together. I'll be posting mine on December 14th. Now, if you've already had a tool for like 2024, this is where you're going to do this reflection. I want you to choose your new tool for 2025. Where are you going to document things? So for 2024, I have a running Google Doc where every month I go and talk about the month. I set goals for that month. So let me back up. I set goals for each month. At the end of that month, I do a reflection on the month, check back on my goals, set goals for the following month. So I have these monthly check-ins with myself. I'm going to revamp that process this year because I have a new planner, I have a different tool. And I also use like a junk journal as well. So I'm incorporating two different tools. But I want you to figure out what tool you're going to use to document your year, your progress, your thoughts, your feelings in. Now, this can be a planner, this can be a journal, this can be a Google Doc like I had. Some of you are really good at Notion. I cannot get into Notion. I have so many Notion templates and it's not for me. It's just not for me. And that's okay. I want you to find what works for you. So many of us watch so many vloggers and creators that use these templates and they have the templates for us, but the templates don't work for us. You have to figure out what works for you and make it work. If that means you're just handwriting everything, so be it. That's the way it needs to be. As long as it works for you and it's something that you can consistently come back to. I want to show you the planner that I got and talk about how I'm going to use it. So I got this planner one from like Marshalls. Yes, Marshalls for $10. And I went on TikTok and I asked like, what kind of planners do you guys use? And there were some beautiful recommendations on TikTok. Those planners were also like $60. I don't see myself buying a planner for $60 just yet. Just yet. But this is the agenda. It's cute. So you see the bows on there. It has some stickers. And for those of you who are listening to the audio version, come over to YouTube and look at the planner. I would love to chat with you in the comments. I'll say definitely I appreciate all of the listens that I get on my audio podcast. I will never, ever, ever want to trade you in for anything. Thank you for listening to me and taking in some of my advice. I think it's harder for me to interact with you all via the audio podcast. So if you just go to YouTube and you search up Be a Better Baddie, or the link is also provided in the show notes, I would love to interact with you here. So I want to show you. So then we have the 2025 full calendar. It has 2026, and then it has like some contacts. I'm not putting contacts on this page. What I envision for this page is possibly putting my vision board here. So I'm making a digital vision board right now on Canva, and I'm going to paste it here so that it's something that I can always come back to. And then it's separated by month. So you see all of the different tabs here. So for January 2025, I like this one because it has like a quote at the beginning of each month. Okay, so it has January goals. So I typically set my goals. I just realized I'm covering up the microphone. I typically set my goals by month. So this is good. So this gives me a space to write down my goals, any birthdays that are coming up, anniversaries, and then to-dos. So I would write down all of my to-dos here. So I already know my to-dos are to post my podcast, post my blog. So things like that. And I'll walk you through. I'm going to try to do monthly videos of like creating this spread. So I have this here. And then it, of course, has like the weekly spread. Just here. Oops. So just your typical weekly spread. And then I think I'll use this. Oh, I'm sorry. So before that, it has that monthly spread. So I always like the monthly spread to just write down big picture things like big events that are coming up, just taking time to kind of plan out my month. I'm still debating. I'm still thinking through how I want to use it because I also want to kind of use this to track habits as well, but this doesn't have a specific habit tracker. So I don't know if I'm going to track that on like the weekly spread, like maybe add like pictures here. I'm definitely going to use this to write down to-dos for each day. To-dos for each day will go here because I need to get in the habit of writing things down the night before, because this is off topic, but on topic. If I do not empty my brain at the end of the night, my brain is filled and I cannot sleep well. So I want to make sure that I take time to write down my to-dos here, and I want to keep them all in this one notebook. So I'll do my to-dos. I'll think of like some tracking system for my habits that I want to track. Maybe every month I'll come up with a new habit or 2 habits or something like that, but that'll be in another video. So this is the planner. And then at the end of it, there are like a couple of notes pages. So I think I'll probably just do like a monthly reflection in here, just writing down how I did on my goals, everything that I did in my Google document before. So how I did on my goals, reflecting on the month, any highlights maybe. So that's going to be in the planner. One of the other tools that I'll be using for 2025 is my junk journal. And I guess it's more of a scrapbook, but junk journal is the new word for it. But let me get that. I forgot I had tea. So this is my scrapbook / junk journal. And I just started it. So it's very new. So I've already started with like printing out pictures from each of my birthdays. Right now I just have like, I don't even know how old I am in some of these. I only have 25 labeled. So I need to go figure out how old I am in all of these pictures. But I plan on taking a picture for every birthday coming up, as long as I have this junk journal, and adding it to these couple of pages. So I reserved a few pages to fill up. So they're blank still. Those are for birthdays. But the purpose of this junk journal is because I felt like we're documenting our memories, of course, on Instagram and TikTok. But I have a scrapbook, and my mom was always so big on like photo albums and stuff like that. So having a physical representation of my memories is super important to me. So I did that. And then like, for instance, a page that I did was for the turkey trot. So I have that in here. So I have my number. I wrote a little reflection. I put a picture of me and Eric there. So this is my page for turkey trot. So just keeping little scraps from my daily occurrences and adding them here. I'll be documenting my life in this journal as well. Oh, another thing that I'm going to do on my planner is to add a picture of myself on the first day of the year in here. So that's the planning tool. Now, a lot is going to go into this. So do not forget about these. These are the two tools that I will be using, and not just for planning things. And then I'll have other notebooks for ins and outs. Do you see how many notebooks I have? I'm still gonna have a work notebook, just for work. I work a 9 to 5, and then I'll have my content journal still as well, where I flesh out ideas for the podcast and other short form video ideas that I have when I don't want to just type it on the computer. But I like my system. Yes, I have 4 notebooks, but name a girl that doesn't. I'll wait. So those are my 4 notebooks that I'll be using for this year. So number 2 is to choose a tool where you're going to document these things. So I just talk through my tools that I am going to use to document. Start thinking about what you're going to use to document as well. Comment below and tell me what you're thinking about using. So the third thing that you are going to do as you are preparing for 2025 is to set your intentions. And I'll also add create like a theme for the year. So this is like this big picture thinking. You're not thinking about specific goals yet. We're thinking about for the full year. What are your intentions for 2025? What is your word for 2025? I want you to start with thinking about what you want this year to be for you, right? So when I thought about, and I feel like I don't want to get too much detail because I also still want to be able to talk about all of this with you in the video next week. But when I think about my word for the year for 2025, I thought of it as thrive. And I still haven't done my 2024 reflection yet to really think about like what I would summarize 2024 as. So it's still flexible. The purpose of your intentions is to help you direct and guide your energy, especially as you move towards setting your goals. So to set your intentions, you're going to go back to your 2024 categories where you already did your reflection, right? You're going to think about some patterns or some habits or just overall areas where you want to grow and improve. And those are going to help you build your intentions for the year, because clearly those were the things that mattered to you, and maybe they don't matter to you anymore, but that's all a part of the reflection process. Think about the things that you failed at, or maybe the things you did so good that you want to continue to do well last year, and help that to set your intentions for this year. The questions that you're going to ask yourself as you're creating these intentions are: how do I want to feel? Who do I want to become? And what do I truly want in this area of my life? So if I were reflecting on my health and wellness for 2024 and I felt like it was chaotic, this is not my real reflection. This is a random one. Okay. Okay. So if my health and fitness was chaotic, right? I didn't have consistency. I was hopping around from gym to gym, program to program. Then one of my intentions would be to create order for my body to flourish. I'm going to create order so that my body can flourish, not be stressed, not knowing my next workout's coming, things of that sort. So think of what happened that previous year, what you want to improve this year, and write it as an intention. Now, you do not need to have 20 intentions. I'm going to tell you to write at most 10 intentions, at most. And I think 10 is pushing it. And the purpose of these intentions is just, again, to help you set this foundation for your goals. And then you're also going to use these to create your vision board. Now, some things I want you to keep in mind about intentions are I want you to, one, phrase them positively. You want to focus on what you want to create, not what you want to avoid. So, again, back to my workout example, I'm not going to say, don't go to 3 different gyms in 1 week. No. I said that I'm going to, I forgot what I said, honor my body with order or create order so I can honor my body, like honor my wishes, something of that sort. And again, yours will sound so much better than mine. Yours will sound so much better than mine because you're going to sit down and think about it. This is just me off the top of my head. Or instead of saying, I don't want to be stressed, you would say, I intend to have a calm and balanced life. That's it. I don't want to be stressed sounds so negative already, right? I don't want to be stressed. Versus, I intend on having a calm and balanced life. There we go. The next thing I want you to keep in mind is that your intentions can change. Intentions are great because they are so flexible. You can flip this upside down whenever you want to. And they're already phrased in such a way where there's so much room for flexibility. So if my intention is, again, having balance, order, I forgot what I said before, that can mean anything in any context. It doesn't even just apply to health and fitness. Now, I want you to write down these intentions. I'm going to add my intentions to my little planner, okay? They're going to be in my planner. So maybe on the front, I'll print them out on that context page that I showed you. On the front would be my intentions, and on the back would be my vision board. Okay. The fourth thing that you are going to do to prepare for 2025 is to create a vision board. I don't really want to go into too much detail about what to go on a vision board because I feel like there's enough out there. You're going to make a pretty collage, a visual representation of your intentions. And this can be from magazine pictures. This can be from Pinterest pictures. This can be from pictures of you. Like that's something I am incorporating this year, pictures of myself. I think a lot of my vision boards in the past have included pictures of other people and I didn't feel really connected to them. So I'm trying to figure out how to feel more connected to my vision board this year because that is definitely a growing pain for me with vision boards. And I also want to read more about vision boards. So if you have any recommendations for books or resources, let me know. Help your girl out. Give me some recommendations. Again, I'm going to be making my planner the same size as making my vision board the same size as the planner page. And I'm going to glue it in there just so it's something that I can reference and have as an artifact for the following years in my life. Okay, we are on to number 5. Now, I have mentioned that I am not setting goals for the entire year, New Year's resolutions, so to say. Those are gone. Those are in the past. We're not doing that anymore. I now do monthly goals or 3-month goals. I'm leaning towards the monthly goals just because I like to have those checkpoints. And of course, a goal can go from month to month, but I've found it very, very helpful this past year just to focus on a goal a month at a time. And if it needs to extend to the next month, cool, so be it. That's okay. So more flexibility and less pressure on myself because we're just humans. We're literally just humans. It's okay. The reason why we're not setting goals for the year anymore is because you forget about them. You set your New Year's resolution, and I promise you by February, you probably already forgot about it. You're gonna change your mind about it. You're gonna change your mind about it. You are going to probably work on something and be like, I'm tired, Grandpa. And guess what? That's okay. That's okay. But I don't think that we felt like it was okay to let go of our New Year's resolutions in the past. It was always, you made a promise to yourself, you are sticking to it. You can change your mind about it. You can change your mind. Third, you don't always need a full year to achieve a goal. I think that sometimes that even promotes procrastination because you're like, well, technically, I said I'd do it by December 2024, so I don't need to do it now. And I think just really making them shorter, giving yourself a shorter time frame is going to really help you focus and hone in on that particular goal. And then finally, it allows you to scaffold these big goals. So when we set big goals like I'm going to save $20,000 this year, it doesn't allow you to scaffold. So if you set it month to month, whatever 20,000 is divided by 12, you can even break it down by week. Like this week, I'm going to save this much, transfer into my account. So setting smaller goals is just more helpful for our little brains, especially with our attention spans being what they are right now. I've done many episodes about setting goals. Just right now, as you're thinking through it, when you set your goals, you want them to be positive, aligned, and centered. POC. That's my acronym. You want them to be positively phrased. You don't want to say, I will not eat junk food anymore. No. Instead, you want to focus on what you want to do. And I said that earlier with the intention. So it would be, I want to eat fruit 3 times a day. We're focused on the positive. And next, you want it to be aligned. If you look back at your intentions or look back at your reflection and it had nothing to do with your diet, like you literally did not reflect on your diet at all, actually, it never crossed your mind, there's no reason for you to set a goal about a diet. Why focus on something that doesn't even cross your mind? That's not aligned with what you've been thinking about. And then next, you want it to be centered on your actions. Focus on things that you can control, not what other people can control. This always comes into play with me when I'm thinking about like social media and like numbers of that sort. You don't want to get attached to that particular number because if you don't hit that number, what does that say about everything else that you've done so far leading up to pursuing that goal? Does it just negate it? Does it not exist? And I don't like that. Set your goals. And I'm excited for the next episode where we're going to walk through these things together. Okay. And then finally, the last thing that you are going to do, because at this point, you've reflected on your past year, right? You've set some intentions for how you want to move in the following year. You have a theme word. You created a vision board. You've already created your goals either for that first month or the first 3 months. Another thing about the goals. Do not set more than 5 goals. No, 5 is too many. 3 or 4. 3 or 4. That's all I'm taking. 3 or 4, not 5. So you've set your goals, right? You're feeling pumped. The last thing that you're going to do to really just seal the deal and just be ready for this year to come is to write a letter to your future self. I am so mad I didn't do this last year. Every year I write a letter to myself to open on the last day of the year. I think I was mad. I don't know what happened. I didn't write a letter to myself, but I do it every other year. And it's so good to go and read that letter at the end of the year about yourself. Writing a letter to yourself is one of the best self-reflection activities because you're talking to your future self from your present self, and you are kind of projecting onto future self in a sense. The way I like to format these letters is starting off with a snapshot of your present self. So where do you live? What are you doing for work? How do you feel in this moment? Who's around you as you're writing this letter? Your thoughts, your feelings, like what are some things you're working on? So take some time to frame the letter. Hey, this is me right now. The second thing you're going to do is talk about what do you hope is true when you open this letter? So when I open this letter, like I'm hoping that you've done da 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 and we've done blah blah blah. And remember we talked about this, like I hope that you did this. So really be playful with it, be fun with it, because it's yourself. You have a relationship with yourself, right? So how would you talk to your best friend? Your best friend's you. talk to your best friend, like spill the tea. Like, what happened? What do you hope she did by the time she opens this letter? And then we are going to acknowledge the fact that there were challenges. Tell her. This is you telling yourself, this is you literally talking to yourself right now. By talking to future you are saying, girl, you know what's coming up. Like, you know that you set this goal to be consistent on YouTube, and you know that in the month of March, you get really lazy and you want to go outside and do stuff. But like, I hope that you were able to work through that and just like really schedule your time well so that you didn't fall off and take an unintentional break. So things like that, like express the challenges that you know are going to be coming up for you. And then also use this time to remind future you of how strong you are, how resilient you are. Like, girl, like, I know that you did the right thing. You are telling your future self, please don't embarrass me. Okay. This is the time to tell her that. After that, you're going to celebrate your intentions and your goal. You're going to celebrate the fact that you did achieve these things because you're manifesting it in a sense. You've already said that you've achieved these things. And end with some celebration, some gratitude for future you. Give her a high five. Let her know she did that and close out the letter. I think it'll be also fun to like include some questions for you to even answer for yourself, right? Like, did you end up doing this? Like, how did you navigate this? So that you can even have reflection questions for the following year. Boom. So write that letter to yourself. You're going to seal it. You're going to close it up. You're going to put it in an envelope, Missy. And I want you to put it in. Let me see. I just realized in the back, I have like a lot of notes pages. All of these are notes. So I am going to definitely tape my letter in here. I'm going to put it in here somewhere. I'll probably use this paper. I will probably quite literally rip this paper out and use it to write my note because I want to make sure I use all pieces of my planner. So I'll use that paper, write the note to myself, and just kind of stick it in the back of the planner so I have it. And at the end of the end of 2025, I will go back and read the letter to myself. Oh, that's exciting. So now you have an idea of everything that you need to prepare for 2025. I'm going to give you a week to get those things, to really go through those things, all of those action steps. I'm going to be going through the same action steps with you for this week, and then we'll be able to hopefully put together our entire, like, I don't know, I feel like it's a packet almost, put together all of our things and share those things in our next video. So if you took notes, beautiful, awesome. If you're like, girl, there was so much, I know, I made a checklist. So go into the description, the show notes, and go get that checklist. And I will see you all in the next video where we're getting ready for 2025. Bye, baddies.